Welcome to the history of wine. Wine traces back all the way to China around 7000 to 8000 BC. Experts believe the first winery can date all the way back to a cave in Armenia around 3000 BC. The first wine grapes were cultivated around 6000 BC in Mesopotamia. If we are talking about wine on a more global scale of wine production, then the Phoenicians take the cake in 3000 BC. Jesus certainly made his mark by turning water into wine in a Phoenician wedding ceremony. Wine was certainly a good substitute for water back in the day, since alcoholic beverages were more sanitary and were a clean drinking source. The Romans exported wine to Egypt, the Mediterranean, even Britain, as wine traveled long distances. Wine had to travel great distances and the bottles were still unsealed. To protect wine before corks, olive oil was used as a protective layer over the wine to prevent bugs and oxygen from getting to the wine. Wine had traveled such great distances it still went bad over rough seas, even with the olive oil barrier. To replace olive oil, the first corks were designed. They were just pieces of wood shoved inside with some resin to protect it. Today we know Italy as the wine powerhouse and source of all wine production, but it is all thanks to the Romans. Today's wine world is broken up into two parts, Old World versus New World. The Old World is all of Europe and the Mediterranean, and the New World is everywhere else. Australia has been making wine for over 175 years. New Zealand began making wine 200 years ago, and South Africa 350 years ago. Phylloxera, or small insects, killed almost 75% of all grapevines in France vineyards. It devastated and destroyed almost the whole industry. France then grafted American insect-resistant vines to Chilean import vines that Chile imported to France a long time ago. California's first commercial winery appeared in 1870, and it wasn't until they were discovered in 1976 on the world global market. In 1976, the Judgment of Paris is where California was first discovered by winning a blind tasting competition against the French on their own turf. California's Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon both beat out all of France's top-notch wines and shook the world forevermore.